Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. We have two anniversaries today that I already covered, and I'm going to link to them below. And we are going to get back to the very interesting conversation with Tim Pool, a pro-choice pastor who doesn't seem to bring anything pastoral up, and a pro-life activist. So we're going to pick up where we left off on our last recording.
Choice really comes at before conception. Unless you're talking about sexual assault.
Everything is about choice. It's all, you should be free to do what you want to do, and I shouldn't be able to make you choose that.
I think that, like what I'm saying, there's a reason we have laws, and there's a lot of questions about what is the role of government, but fundamentally we should all be able to agree that the main reason we have laws is to protect others from harming others, from limiting our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I mean, think about the issue. I mean, it's not lost on me that we're a few miles from Harper's Ferry, where John Brown's raid was, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite places to take my children.
And his raid HQ is up the street.
That's right.
You can actually go to his farmhouse. Right?
Well, I might actually do that on the way out.
Think
Think about the issue of slavery. Nobody in our society today says, yes, you can own another person. You can strip another person of their liberty in order to pursue your happiness, your profit. We would all say that is wrong. And no one would say, well, it's my choice versus your choice. I mean, that was the argument that helped keep slavery illegal. If you don't want to own another person, then you don't have to. You're free to pay your farm laborers. But if you want to own another person, you can. Do you see what's wrong with that statement?
I think that you're trying to marry slavery and abortion, and let us not forget that for hundreds of years, slavery was spoken of positively as a symbol of status and wealth and doing well in the world.
That's what abortion is today. Abortion's talked about as a symbol
of wealth and
status.
Hold on a second. People took scripture and philosophy and even science and all of the crazy eugenics stuff to say that a person, because of their skin color, was 3/4 of whatever.
It's wrong.
3/5.
3/5.
That was an argument. The slave owners wanted them to be one whole vote.
Yeah,
and
right.
yes. The North arguing you can't have a slave and then also claim they're a free vote. Get out of here.
Yeah, and Christians were leading the force to end slavery because Christians said, this is wrong. You can't change the value of another human being based on their skin color, or your science at the time that thinks that their brains, people whose skin is darker, their brains are different than white skins.
I think that might be a little bit misinformed, because just as many Christians were opening the scriptures and saying that slavery is perfectly appropriate. So
I think that they're going down a wrong rabbit hole here. I find it interesting that he can argue against slavery and say, well, they were using their science at the time, they were using their religion at the time to justify slavery, but I think he's trying to say, and that's why you're using your religion and your science to claim that there's this other group of humans that shouldn't be dehumanized. He's sawing off the limb he's sitting on if he's arguing that, you shouldn't be allowed to use religion or science to argue that people aren't people, when I don't know if he's arguing. He's kind of muddy, because he kind of argues that they're not people because they have no agency, which, of course, an infant has no agency. A toddler has very little agency. Our brains aren't fully mature until we're in our mid-20s. Is he going to argue that parents should be allowed to go, this one's kind of stupid, and when they're 23 because their brain's not mature yet? And neither Tim nor Kristan is pinning him down on this.
Well, all the abolitionists were Christians, right? They weren't actually just even arguing for the end of slavery. They were arguing for temperance. They were arguing for women's rights to vote.
All the abolitionists were Christians. You're certain that every single one?
Most of them were, yeah. I mean, that was the
most of them. Well,
yeah,
that's
they might be
completely different
deists.
statement.
They might have been deists, but that was the the preeminent religion of the day. I mean, but if you think of all of their statements, if you go back and read the statements of William Wilberforce, or I was just at Thaddeus Stevens' tomb up in Lancaster, PA. They often said that their Christian faith, their belief in a God and a creator, that all man is created equal, is what helped motivate them to fight this evil fight, against slavery. So
like I said, I don't like that she brings religion into this, because I don't think religion is necessary. And despite the fact that he says he's a pastor, I haven't heard a single scriptural thing come out of his mouth. He has not the closest thing he came was the word heresy comes from the word to choose, and therefore you should be allowed to choose to kill fetuses. He's very, very muddled thinking.
I think it is a fair thing to start having that conversation, because what we say in abortion is, well, it may be a human, but it's not a person yet. It doesn't have full agency of their body, or it's still connected, dependent on the mother, or it hasn't had experiences yet, or lots of personal relationships yet. Therefore, it's justified to take their life.
It's interesting that you just called the baby it instead of he or she.
Well, I was referring to what the argument we hear is. It's absolutely not it. It's a he or she. I was just, talking in the vernacular that I hear on campuses all the time to justify abortion.
Okay.
So I have a question.
What is it? Is it a baby inside of a mother? Why don't you answer that, Pastor?
What's
inside of a mother? When you have a member of your congregation that's pregnant, do you say congratulations, you're having an it, or a clump of cells, or oh, what's the gender or sex of it, or do you say of the baby?
I usually say congratulations.
Do you call it a baby inside of the womb?
I don't know that I ever have. No.
Do you call it a fetus or clump of cells?
No, I do not tell a pregnant mother what a wonderful fetus you have. That's just very awkward.
That's a weird thing to say.
Latin's confusing.
Congratulations on your fetus, I see you have there.
But the big
you
picture,
would go to a baby shower if someone invited you, right?
Of course I would.
And
I would christen a baby, but
a baby shower happens when she's pregnant.
Her baby is not my choice.
I think I'm gonna just kind of cut it off at that point. He just weasels. He just really weasels. So we're gonna link to our anniversaries below, and I'm going to share more of this discussion at a future date.